What's up, y'all? Back with another movie rating video today. Even though it's like maybe halfway or a little bit more into January, I wanted to give my top 2025 movies of the year list. Without further ado, let's just go straight into it. I'm gonna have 3 honorable mentions and then my top 10, which I'm not gonna lie, at the end it gets kind of controversial, and some of my little low picks are really controversial. So, trigger warning, honestly. Out of the 19 movies that I watched that came out of 2025, my first honorable mention would have to be Good Fortune. Now, I don't think it is necessarily a bad movie. I thought it was a fun watch, and entertained me, but I don't think it's that rewatchable. And I was just happy that I saw a Seth Rogen movie on the screen, but it wasn't Seth Rogen at his finest. It wasn't Aziz Sorry at his finest. And even Keanu Reeves was pretty flat and boring. And I don't see Keanu Reeves in much stuff because I don't watch a lot of his movies, and I'm like, wow, is this really like how he is portrayed? I mean, I understand his character was supposed to be like, kind of dumb and wonky and fun, and like there, it just came off as weird. So it's not necessarily horrible, but it's definitely not nowhere near these top 10. This next one is my first like shocker, and it is with my honorable mention too, Superman. Now, I'm not a big DCU fan, I'm not gonna lie. I was not raised in that environment. I was MCU, and I just feel like it was cool and it was fun and it was well choreographed and story and stuff. But I felt like I liked the little side group a lot. And I feel like personally it's hard to do a character like Superman because he kind of is like invincible. You know what I mean? Like Superman is this character that is so powerful that it's like it doesn't make him special. It's not like he has one unique thing. It's like he has lasers and can fly and is super strong and invincible to everything except for like kryptonite. I don't know. I'm not a big Superman fan, and it was cool. It was like an 8 out of 10, but just compared to what I've seen and what I'm used to and what I can grasp, I think it's fun. I think I will watch it more, and it got me more hyped for the DCU, and James Gunn was dope, and directing and casting and everything was dope. It's just, it didn't excite me as much. It's a good movie. It's just these next ones are like, I don't know. It holds a more space in my heart. It's not the best movie. It's not the best movie category or list. It's my favorite. My next pick is a movie that I was really looking forward to. And then toward the end of it, I was like, okay, like this is pretty cool, but they kind of made this mistake last time, and this is Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out third movie, and what I meant by they made the mistake again was Glass Onion. I thought it was cool. I feel like the only thing is it felt a little weird introducing this whole middle section about how it's a doppelganger and it's a twin. I felt like that was weird, but also it was necessary and important. And now rewatching it, I'm like, oh, I was looking through that and I saw, and I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense about what's going on. But it just felt off. I'm just not used to it. I think in same way Wake Up Dead Man, it's like I just felt off. Like it was fun and it was cool, but along the way I was like, what? Like again, it was a very great movie and very well crafted. It's just I remember hearing about it. I was like, cool. I liked the first two Knives Out, and then I watched it and I was like, no, I definitely like this. It's just I was hoping it would, I thought it would be better than the first two, or at least Glass Onion, and I feel like maybe it's tied with Glass Onion at like a 7.5 out of 10, and Knives Out is like a 8.5 or a 9. Again, good movies. It's just my personal list. It is really hard to rank. All right, we are finally in the top 10, and at my number 10 spot, it's gonna shock people that it's over Wake Up Dead Man and Superman, but FNAF 2. I feel like because I played the FNAF games growing up, and because I'm at the perfect fan range where it's like I know enough, but I also don't. You know what I mean? Like I used to love the first game, and I played that one, and then I kind of played the second, kind of played the fourth and stuff, and kind of knew the lore, but I didn't know too much. So I was open to interpretation, like a lot of fans were kind of disappointed with this movie, and I just thought it was fun. Like it looked very, very good, and I was watching it and going into it hearing that it's a horrible movie by critics, and then I'm like, no, I had a fun time and I really liked it. Um, I don't think it's better than Wake Up Dead Man. I don't think it's better than Superman, but favorite wise and just like, you know, pleasantly surprised, I think that boosted it. So, you can honestly change up my honorable mentions in this 9 or 10 and 9 spot, but everything else I feel like it's pretty solid on. So with that being said, Jurassic World Rebirth is my ninth movie of the year. I think that it was a good reboot, especially with that last Jurassic World they did and stuff. But it was just alright, like the cast was cool, the ending was cool, how he survived. I really liked that. I thought that was pretty badass. And it makes sense what they were doing and stuff, and the cure, and that dude who really is into dinosaurs being able to do that. I was rooting for him the whole time. I'm like, stay alive, please stay alive. But yeah, it is just like the other Jurassic Park movies. I'm pretty sure there was another Jurassic Park movie where they intercept an innocent person, or that innocent family was cool because it's like that dude was kind of douchey and he kind of tries to like sacrifice himself toward the end, and he evolved, and that was all cool. But it's just like, again, it's like it's a Jurassic Park movie that, because we've already had Jurassic Parks, it's kind of hard to compare it. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna rewatch this as much as like the first one or the Chris Pratt ones. But it is definitely up there, and it's in the middle of, I think, the Jurassic Park trilogy. So I think that's why I put it at a number 9. My number 8, I got The Phoenician Scheme. This was a early 2025 movie I saw. First Wes Anderson, and I really like what Wes Anderson does. It looks always great. And I was able to follow the story, which I thought was nice because I was worried that I wouldn't a little bit with all these big fancy words and terms and all. And casting's always great. It always looks stunning and it always flows pretty damn well. With little plot point chapters, so you kind of know where you're at and kind of know what's about to happen. But it's not Wes Anderson's best work either. You know what I mean? Like, this is probably I don't like Rushmore. It's not that I don't like Rushmore, but probably goes Rushmore, Phoenician Scheme, and then like Fantastic Mr. Fox, Isle of Dogs, Grand Budapest Hotel. Those are all the ones I've seen. There's a little Wes Anderson ranking for you. But yeah, it was cool, and I really liked it. But again, just these other movies I like more, And again, like, these movies are all really close to each other until like the top 3 or 4 or 5. So, keep that in mind. My next pick is the Fantastic Four. Now, I'm a really big Marvel fan, and I had not known too much about the Fantastic Four because, really, honestly, I'm an MCU fan, not too much Marvel. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bitch. But, seeing how it was how it was adapted, and, that whole... I like seeing the family dynamic is something that we haven't seen with Marvel for a long time. The Galactus fight, though, I don't know. I felt like it was a little weird. Not that Miss Incredible survived, but that, it's the same ending that the Lego Marvel video game has done and Fortnite has done, I think, or some shit. So that was a little bit weird, but no, like, overall, it was a very cool movie, and it got me hyped for Doomsday and such, and seeing them again, and everybody played their part really well. Every character, I could see and feel their emotions, and score-wise was great. I think the only thing I didn't like was how Joseph Quinn's Human Torch could, like, learn a whole new language in, like, a month or whatever. But, like, beside that, everything was, like, very, very great about this movie, and it got me hyped for the MCU, and it felt like it's a return to the MCU that I hadn't seen in a while. At my 6th spot is a underrated movie that I did not think I would like as much, and I ended up really liking, was The Long Walk. It's kind of hard because it's like, this is a movie that you already know what's gonna go on. Like, you've seen the trailer, okay, it's just dudes walking, and yet it was very good at making me emotionally connected and feel every character and see the crazy world that he's bringing to life. And it was just more than I expected, and the ending was pretty cool. I feel like he should have gotten, like, caught at the end, but whatever, it was still a very nice ending, and very sad. And yeah, it was really, like, gory. It was one of the only horror movies I had seen, and that one had a lot more, like, crazy moments that, you think it's just a long walk, but in reality there's way more to it, which was nice to see. And very much one of my favorite Stephen King movies I've seen, because I've seen, like, that Fire Girl one, which was trash. So, I was pleasantly surprised. That was a nice 8 out of 10, 8.5 for me. Okay, finally, we are into the top 5, which will have some crazy shockers. So I'm sorry that, The Naked Gun is this high on here. I understand that that type of humor is not for everybody, but I just thought that, the first ones were iconic, and the first one was iconic and great, and then to do it and follow it up like a long time later and still be able to do it just as well. I was really honored about that. That environment was really great. I remember watching it at the theater, and it was just a blast, like seeing how it's going to be something stupid and yet like it's smartly stupid, you know what I mean? Like that type of humor we don't see as much anymore, so that was great. But the ending was low-key kind of bad, so I could honestly be interchangeable with putting this at, like, instead of top 5, like maybe a 7 or 8. I probably need to rewatch it, but that first half, or first 2/3 even, was just really great, you know what I mean? Like just really funny, something that had not come from a lot of the movies prior, and that's why I put it there. At my number 4, we have Weapons. Weapons was a really fun movie. I like chapter movies like that, where it's like it kind of is like you see through the different perspectives. So you're like, okay, I know something's gonna happen, but let's see how that happens. It was really fun. It was way better than I thought it would be. Like I was going into it like, okay, people I know had been talking about it, but I'm very skeptical person. I'm judgy and also not. It's really weird, but I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised, and it got me super scared that if I ever see a kid running like that, I seriously will smack the fuck out of them. And also, I guess now cancer patients can control people, which that's a new fear unlocked. So there we go. Really quick, that it's crazy that I've recorded this once already, and at this same spot, I realized I didn't put Marty Supreme on here. I think it's because it's the most recent movie I saw. It was December 31st I saw it, so it's kind of like 2026. But if I had to put Marty Supreme somewhere, I'd probably put it in between The Long Gun, The Long Gun and The Naked Walk. Because, it was fun, but it was really long. I really like the Safdies, but these other 3 movies I really like ahead of it. And here's the part that you guys have been waiting for. The top 3 picks of 2025. My third pick, man, even though I really think it's second, I just have to put it at third. It's Thunderbolts. I loved it so much that I have the poster in my room that I'm actually looking at right now. I thought the message was cool. I thought that it brought back some crazy like love for the MCU that had been missing for a long time prior, and it got me hyped. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy to me. Way better than I thought it would be, like going into it. I'd seen it when it came out and was announced, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. But David Harbour is great, Florence Pugh is great, Bucky Barnes is great. Seeing all these characters that were, just side pieces really get a better and bigger role in that environment of a team up is way better than like just being like straight up villains and dicks, you know what I mean? I really liked that a lot. So it really brought back the Marvel universe to me. I think that I watched a lot of the shows and stuff, and I'm not going to count shows, but this was the best Marvel project in a while, years. Maybe not even Moon Knight. I don't know. I really fucking like this movie so much that I bought a $2 card from the Topps Chrome boxes of it, which still hasn't come yet, which, what the fuck. And, I understand that people might be like, what the hell? Why'd you say that was 3? It should be 2, but it's 3. It's because my second pick, it's a movie, I guess. It's a documentary, or I don't know, like a remembrance one, because he passed away sadly, and it's I Like Me by John Candy, or about John Candy. That really made me cry, man. I loved John Candy. I'm in a John Candy household, and to see how he was just a lovable person in real life, and just how great of a person he was, and oh my god, I can't even think about it seriously, because it's so good. If you haven't watched it already, John Candy, any of his works, you'd love it, because like, wow, it's a true inspiration, man. Like, if you don't want to be like him, you're crazy, okay? You're seriously crazy. He is the ideal reality of what a celebrity should be. I mean, like, the way that he was able to make everybody happy, literally everybody happy, it's just insane, you know? Like, you'll never see me talk any bad about John Candy, and can't wait for Spaceballs 2 because, you know, because like he was just so good in that, and he's just so good in everything he did. I mean, I guess up till, he passed. When they said that he would do work because of favors, like he was doing work because he just wanted to, do it for them and be nice. And I think that that's just a great mentality, and a great mentality to just love filmmaking and just, be there for family on the farm, and fans, and owning your own sports team or helping own it. And like, just, he was just a kid at heart, that's what they say. And that's why I put him at 2. And that leads me to my number 1 pick. I'm not gonna lie, there were some crazy movies I had not seen this year yet, like Avatar or F1, but this one I feel like everybody has seen, and how could you not love it? It's Sinners. Michael B. Jordan twice, the music, the cinematography, the story, the I think I already said music, but oh my god, like that shit is just, those edits, like the Sinners edits I've seen are just so fucking beautiful, bro. Like TikTok edits. Really fun watch. I learned a lot about vampires from it, so that was cool. And yeah, it was another movie that, people were telling me, oh my god, it's so good. And I was like, okay, let's see. And yeah, like it really is that damn good. The characters are just so entertaining and engaging, and you see that it's like only like an under 2 hour movie, I think. I don't know, don't quote me on that. And it's like, I just want more, you know what I mean? Like, I remember seeing like the trailers for it, and I was like, okay, yeah, that seems whatever. And then, finally came around. I'm like, wow, why was I not more hyped about this? Ryan Coogler is the GOAT, you know what I mean? Like, he's fucking amazing. So yeah, with that is my 2025 list. I know it is very flawed, and I know that, I'm weird, but that's just my favorite ones. And again, I love like a lot of movies. I love all these movies, and you could rearrange that order probably any day of the week for me, and I'd be fine with it. But right now, I have it written down like this. I just wanted to publish this. I'm also gonna do a 2026 most hyped movies list, which you will hopefully see soon. I'm planning to get these out. Let's see, probably before January 17th, but it might not happen. So please like, subscribe. Stranger Things stuff is coming soon. But until then,